Hey guys, Atham this side और आज हम सॉल्व करने वाले हैं आज का LeetCode question which is question number 451 sort characters by frequency, right? So in this question you're given a string s and you have to sort this given string s in decreasing order, but not just any decreasing order. You have to sort in decreasing order based on the frequency of characters. Frequency वही होती है माने number of characters, number of times a character appear in a string. Obviously you know that, you're not dumb, right? You know the definition of frequency. And you have to return the sorted string. If there are multiple answers possible, you have to return any one of them, right? So this makes us easy to understand this. Let's look at this example. For example, you're given a string s3, right? And you have to sort it using the frequency of characters in descending order, which means that whatever character has the highest frequency in the string will come first, then the character second to is second largest to it, then third largest, and so on, right? And the character which have least frequency will come at end, right? And if there are same characters of same frequency, तो आप normal order करेंगे, which means अगर मान लीजिए एक string है a b b c c c, right? तो इसमें c की frequency ज़्यादा है, c c c ऐसी as it is आ गया, and rest में क्या आ सकता है, a b b भी आ सकता है, right? a b b भी आ सकता है, और आपको यहाँ पर हमने डाल दिया जिसकी सबसे ज़्यादा फ्रिक्वेंसी है सी को, राइट? यहाँ पर हम डाल देंगे, बाकी बचे हुए क्यों, इनकी फ्रिक्वेंसी सेम है. लेट्स लुक एट दिस एग्जांपल, जो गिवन एग्जांपल एक बार उसको अंडरस्टैंड करते हैं एंड विल अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट वी मीन बाय decreasing order frequency. So in this example you given string tree. What you'll do is you'll count the frequency of every character. Obviously you should know the frequency of every character to sort them according to decreasing order of their frequency, right? So there are two e's, there is one r, and there is obviously one, there is obviously one t, right? This is the categorization of specifications of this string, right? So these are the frequency, and you can see that e has the largest frequency, then both of the e's would come together. There are two e's, तो two e तो शुरू में आ जाएंगे, then whatever r next is r, and then t can come, right? And then t can come, or what you in दोनों की frequency सेम है ना, so their order doesn't matter, right? Their order doesn't matter. You can also return etr, right? That's what I tried to make you understand. जिसकी frequency सबसे ज़्यादा है वो तो पहले आएगा, but जिसकी frequency सेम है या फिर कम है या फिर सिंगल है वो किसी भी order में आ जाए. So that's how multiple answers are possible and you have to return any one of them. So that's what we mean by this statement, right? So let's quickly see other examples also, then we'll discuss the approach. So look at this example. आपको equal number of frequency दिया है, यानी C भी 3 है and A भी 3 है. So what you'll do is A C is an answer, and C A. Both are valid answers. See, both are valid answers. So you can return any one of them. Look at this example. अब आपको confusion हो सकता है. What if a capital letters comes? What if a capital letters come? So capital letter are treated as different from small letter, which means capital A and small a are two different things according to this question, right? So what will be the answer of this input string? So there are two B's which has highest frequency, so B would come first, then A, or your answer can be two B's at front, then capital A and then small a. Both of these are correct answers. Right? Both of these are correct answer. So this is our question. So in this question, what you have to do, basically let's build the approach of this question. So this question, what I am doing is I'm just counting the frequencies. To count the frequency, what I'll do is I can use count array, because size, there are total 26 characters, plus 26 capital, so 52 size. Array would be their counting array, 26 for small letters and 26 for capital letters, right? What else I can do? I'm not interested in counting array and using extra space. What I can do is I can use a map, and I can insert every character in map, and I can count the frequency using map. And we have already done in past few videos, we have been doing using maps, and we understand how maps work, and I've also made it clear what's the difference between unordered and ordered map, right? So let's make one thing clear, that we have to count frequency, right? So to count frequency, what will use? Map. All right, map. Then when I have the frequency, what I can do is I have to somehow pair this frequency with the character. So we can use a data type pair. For example, there are two e's, right? So in this map, e would be the key and 2 would be the value, which means there are two e's. which also means that the frequency of E in this string is 2, right? So we somehow we have to pair this frequency along with this character E. So we can use a data type called pair, right? Pair. Similarly, what else would be in map? There would be one R and another pair of one T. So these pair I have to build after counting the frequency, right? So second step would be somehow build the pair, right? Somehow build the pair. So pair would be the second step, right? Third step, what would be the third step? Now I have the frequency and I have the corresponding character which has that frequency. What I have to do, I've just left with one task to do. I have to sort it. I have to sort it, but in what? In what? I have to sort it in decreasing order, right? Decreasing order of frequency. Decreasing order of frequency. So these three steps I have to follow, right? These three steps I have to follow. Let's see how are we actually doing it. So for taking a map, what we'll do is we'll take a map, we'll count the frequency. So we're using unordered map for that. For pair, and for sorting, right? For pairing up, for forming pairs, we'll use vector of pair. Vector of pair of what? Pair of what? Frequency, which is int, and character C H, right? And in this vector, what we'll do is we'll actually store a pair in single cell of this vector. In single value of this vector, we'll store a pair, and that pair would contain frequency at first and character whose frequency is that at second, right? And then what we'll do, we'll just sort this vector. We'll just sort this vector in which we have included all the pairs of this uh, of the pair of the unique symbols, unique characters which I have obtained from the map, right? And what we have to do after obtaining all the pairs and storing them into the vector, we'll just sort this vector in decreasing order, right? In decreasing order, right? One approach would be this. Other approach would be what if I don't want to do anything like sorting and storing it into the vector? What I can do is somehow if you guys know about priority queue, what priority queue does is it basically works behind the scene. It works on the principles of max heap, which means the value which has the largest the value which has the largest value, right? The thing which has the largest value would be at the top and smaller at the down, which means सबसे बड़ी वैल्यू ऊपर रहेगी and सबसे उसके नीचे से जैसे जाएंगे आप top to down, value would keep on decreasing, right? So सबसे बड़ी वैल्यू टॉप पे अवेलेबल रहेगी, which means if I just if I just put the pairs in priority queue, it will automatically be sorted, and I would get automatically the largest frequency character at the top, बिकॉज आई एम सॉर्टिंग. अब अभी समझिए सॉर्ट कैसे हो रहा है प्रायोरिटी क्यू में. प्रायोरिटी क्यू में अगर आप कंडीशन इंट देते हैं, नॉर्मल कैरेक्टर्स देते हैं, मान लीजिए मैंने इंसर्ट करा 2 3 4, so 4 would be at the top, 3 would be here and 2 would be at the bottom, because 4 is the largest. In any order you insert, doesn't matter, in any order you insert, the result would be the same for priority queue, right? Same for priority queue. That's why it is called priority queue, because it works behind the scene for on max heap principles, right? Now it's automatically deciding that as there is single value we're inserting, so it automatically decides that it has to consider that value only. What if I'm not I'm not inserting a single value, I'm inserting a pair of, let's say, 2 comma e. What it will do is, if you want it to work by default, what it'll do is it will use the first value of the pair and sort or put the values according to this, which means whichever character has the highest frequency would come at the top, which means in priority queue for this example tree, we have a pair 2e, right? We have a pair 2e, and there is one r entry, right? And there is one t also, right? So how this would be inserted after all three insertions, inserting this in any order you want, just a second, in any order you want, what the result would be, the result would look like the pair with the largest frequency would be here, the character with the second largest would be here, and just a second, I'm sorry, this is the character, and t would go here. As these two have same frequency, so it doesn't matter whatever answer you return. So yes, I have got by inserting the pair in priority queue, I have got the largest frequency character at the top, and as I go from top to down, I'll keep on decreasing. I get lesser frequency character, right? So that's what I wanted, right? अब मुझे चाहिए था कि सबसे ज्यादा frequency जिसकी हो सबसे पहले मुझे मिल जाए. So अब इस priority queue को बनाने के बाद what I'll do is I'll just take a string answer. I'll just take an empty string and I'll just keep on popping and keep on popping this top values, right? This top values, and I'll keep on adding the characters number of times they have the frequency, which means अगर e दो बार है, so I'll add e 2 times. Then this would be popped, right? This would be completely eliminated, so there would not be a 2e pair. What the top value would become, that is 1r. फिर मैं r को जोड़ दूंगा, फिर that would be popped, right? That would be popped. Then what I'll do, top would become this 1t, and then I'll just use use top to access this pair, and I'll just add t number of times the frequency it appears, right? जितने भी t मेरे पास है उतने t मैं ऐड कर दूंगा. फॉर एग्जाम्पल या 3 t होते तो मैं 3 t ऐड कर देता, right? So this would be our approach, right? So let's understand how actually the code is working. So मैंने logic तो आपको समझा दिया, तो this is the exact logic we are going to follow. What you can do is if you don't like this logic or you don't like using priority queue, you can also go by my another logic, which was of vector, which was of putting the pair in vector and sorting it in decreasing order using a comparator, or you can do, what you can do if you don't want to use a comparator or you don't know how to use a comparator, you can just sort the array. You would just sort the vector in increasing order, which would by default sort the vector in increasing order, and you can just reverse, right? You can just reverse it. So you would automatically get what? You would automatically get the vector in decreasing order of the frequency. But the condition would be that you have to keep the frequency at first position in the pair, because by default it would look at the first position, right? I have already explained. So let's look at the code and we'll go to time complexity after understanding the code. So this was a function which was given to us, and we have to just return a string in this function. So हमारी approach के हिसाब से we have made a priority queue, we have made a map. Map would take the value of key as character, and which is unique. Obviously we have to count the frequency, right? तो frequency के लिए यहाँ पर character रहेगा और यहाँ पर int रहेगा, which means e2, t1 and r1 for example tree, right? For example tree, this would be the scenario for map, this would be the scenario of inside the map. So we have just iterated the string tree and we have inserted everything and increased the frequency in the map, right, of every character. So this is the loop for that, right? अब हमने मैप में इंसर्ट करने के बाद वी हैव गॉट द फ्रीक्वेंसी. अब उस फ्रीक्वेंसी के हिसाब से मुझे पेयर अप करना है, विच मीन्स ये फ्रीक्वेंसी विच इज द वैल्यू, राइट, विच इज द वैल्यू, वो मैप की जो सेकंड पोजीशन पे है वो पहले आनी चाहिए और फर्स्ट पोजीशन में जो कैरेक्टर वो बाद में आना चाहिए. तो अब मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, उस प्रायोरिटी क्यू में जिसमें पेयर जाएगा इंट कॉमा कैर का, उसमें मैं इंसर्ट कर रहा हूँ प्रायोरिटी क्यू डॉट पुश पूरे मैप को इटरेट करके. मान लीजिए मैं मैप में यहाँ पर था E2, राइट. सो व्हाट आई हैव डन इज x का सेकंड मैप को इटरेट कर रहा हूँ, तो x का सेकंड क्या हो जाएगा, मैप का सेकंड, व्हिच मींस 2 का सेकंड, राइट, व्हिच मींस दिस पूरे वैल्यू का सेकंड व्हिच इज 2. तो यहाँ पर 2 चला जाएगा कॉमा x का फर्स्ट व्हिच इज e. और ये कर्ली ब्रेसेस क्या होते हैं, कर्ली ब्रेसेस फॉर्म्स अ पेयर. You can also use make pair function, or you can use curly braces directly. I prefer curly braces. Whatever you prefer is fine by me. So you can just form a pair and insert, put it into the priority queue. फिर x की वैल्यू चेंज होगी, it would iterate to the next map value. For example, let's say x comes here. Then what it will do, x का second, which means x यहाँ है ना, तो x का second क्या हो गया 1 comma x का first which is t. 1 and t would form pair and it will be pushed into the priority queue, which actually stores a pair. We have already declared it. That's why we are pushing a pair of int comma char, right? So this is how the priority queue, how the pairs are being pushed in the priority queue. So after pushing the pairs in the priority queue, what we have done. Now understand. Let's form a priority queue here quickly. Let's understand. So this is our priority queue. After pushing all three pairs, which we will form or get using map, right? So this is the priority queue, right? This is how priority queue would look like for the string tree, right? This is the priority queue. So what we are doing is we are iterating a loop until the priority queue becomes empty, and we have already declared an empty string answer which we are returning at the end. But in the answer we have to get the sorted answer in the decreasing order of frequency, right? So what we are doing is मैं top की वैल्यू को निकाल के टॉप की वैल्यू में जो भी कैरेक्टर है उसको उतने ही टाइम्स ऐड कर दूं स्ट्रिंग में जितनी ही उसकी फ्रीक्वेंसी है, राइट। तो मैंने क्या करा, मैंने निकाला टॉप, एक्स से मिल गया टॉप, टॉप का फर्स्ट से मुझे मिल गया उसकी फ्रीक्वेंसी कैरेक्टर की, उसके अंदर मैंने लूप चला दिया एक्स माइनस माइनस, यानी 2 बार लूप चलेगा, 2 माइनस, और आंसर में प्लस हो जाएगा पी क्यू डॉट टॉप का सेकंड, विच मीन टॉप तो अभी भी यही है, पॉप थोड़ी करा मैंने, तो टॉप का सेकंड क्या हो गया, ये पेयर, एक्चुअली टॉप तो ये पेयर हो गया, उसका सेकंड क्या हो गया ई, विच मीन आंसर वुड बी प्लस एम्प्टी स्ट्रिंग में प्लस हो जाएगा क्या ई, फिर एक बार 2 की वैल्यू 1 हो जाएगी, 1 माइनस माइनस आ गया, अब 1 पे भी चलेगा लूप, फिर से टॉप का सेकंड विच मींस ई दोबारा ऐड हो जाएगा इसमें आंसर में, एम्प्टी स्ट्रिंग था ना, अब ई हो गया, ई के बाद फिर से ई हो गया, राइट। सो फिर से क्या होगा, फिर से क्या होगा, अब 0 बन जाएगा 1 माइनस माइनस हो गए, अब 0 के लिए फॉल्स हो जाएगा तो पी क्यू डॉट पॉप कर देगा, विच मींस वी हैव ऑलरेडी कंसीडर्ड द कैरेक्टर ई एज मेनी टाइम्स एज इट्स फ्रीक्वेंसी वाज, मतलब 2 फ्रीक्वेंसी थी तो 2 बार हमने ई जोड़ दिया, राइट। देन व्हाट वी हैव डन इज वी हैव पॉप्ड द एलिमेंट, वो पॉप कर दिया, अब आइटरेटिंग यहाँ पे आ गया इसका, अब क्या होगा, टी को फिर से ऐड कर दूं उसमें, कितने टाइम्स करूंगा, जितने टाइम्स की फ्रीक्वेंसी है, वालू ये तो चेक कर रहा है, उतने टाइम्स ऐड करूं जितनी उसकी फ्रीक्वेंसी है, एक्स में क्या आ रहा है, उसकी फ्रीक्वेंसी तो आ रही है, पी क्यू डॉट टॉप का फर्स्ट आ रहा है, पी क्यू डॉट टॉप इज अ पेयर, उसका फर्स्ट क्या है, उसका कैरेक्टर फ्रीक्वेंसी है, पी क्यू डॉट टॉप डॉट सेकंड से उसका कैरेक्टर जोड़ रहा हूं बार बार उतने ही टाइम जितनी उसकी फ्रीक्वेंसी, राइट। देन वील एड टी, फिर पॉप कर दूंगा इसे भी, क्योंकि ये तो 0 हो जाएगा, एक ही टाइम फ्रीक्वेंसी तो चलेगी, एक ही फ्रीक्वेंसी है तो, देन आवर आइटरेटर वुड कम हियर and will again add r in the string, and then finally we'll pop it also because it has only one frequency, and our priority key would be empty, right, priority key would be empty, so this condition would become false, so our answer would become what, EETR, which is one of the possible answers, we'll return it. So this is what our approach looks like, right. You can also do it by vector. So let's quickly understand the time complexity. Let's quickly go through the time complexity analysis. So this let's take the string length as n. So this is inserting in the map and iterating it's iterating on every character in the string which has n character. So this loop would take of n, for pushing it into the map, for pushing it for pushing it iterating the map, right, it is iterating the map. What it will take is it will take what, suppose there were m unique characters, and for pushing it in the priority queue, it takes log n, which follows the what, which follows concept of max heap. So this whole loop of for would take what, m log m time complexity, right. Now this loop, look at this loop, what we are doing now, look at this loop, we have m, right, we have m values in our priority queue which we got from the map, राइट, विच वी गॉट फ्रॉम द मैप, बिकॉज देयर वर m एक्चुअल वैल्यूज ना, m यूनिक वैल्यूज ही तो मैप में रहेंगी, तभी तो उनकी फ्रीक्वेंसी इंक्रीज हो रही है, की वैल्यूज जितनी होंगी दैट वुड बी द साइज ऑफ द मैप, राइट। m वैल्यू पेयर्स हमारे पास थे, राइट। सो ये लूप चलेगा m टाइम्स, एंड ये लूप तब तक चलेगा विच हैज द विच डिपेंड्स अपॉन द फ्रीक्वेंसी, लेट्स से ये फ्रीक्वेंसी टाइम चल रहा है, f टाइम्स चल रहा है, so this whole loop would run what times, right, what time, m times of f, right. So this overall loop would take m times of f, and what in worst case what can happen is, in worst case, let's say all the strings this f is very large, same as what, n, same as n, so we can say that it runs m cross n times this loop, and this loop is running m log m times. So this is would be our overall time complexity. Now as per you can also see whatever the big values, you have to consider that whatever is the dominant value. So m cross n is obviously the dominant value, so you would consider that. But what I would recommend, if you are asked the time complexity and you are given in objective this only, then you can select it. But if you're also given what, if you're also given m cross max of n comma log m, so select this is more appropriate, whatever ये तो m तो common है ना दोनों में, बट वैल्यू जो इसकी है, इन दोनों की वैल्यू डिपेंड कर रही है log m और इस पे, whatever is bigger would be more dominant, you have to consider that, right. You have to, अगर n की वैल्यू ज्यादा हो गई, log n की कम होगी, obviously you would take m cross n as time complexity. But if n की वैल्यू बहुत लो हुई और log m की significantly large हुई, so time complexity would become m log m, right. So time complexity I would like to write it as this, m cross max of n log m, right. So this is our time complexity, and this was all for today. If you have any question or any doubt, please do mention it in my comment section. I'll reply as soon as possible. And if you want if you have any other approach, do try it. I'm not saying that my approach is the best or the most optimized one. If you know any more optimized approach, do try it on your own. But before every optimized approach, do try your personal brute force approach, right? You have to brainstorm of ideas before solving any questions. You have to actually solve every question on paper first, and multiple times, until you get the answer correct logic for that question, right? So that's all for today. कोड करते रहिए, कोड करना मत छोड़िए. All the very best. Thank you.